はご主人様に買っていただく資格がありません。
よし、今日からお前はメロスサーヌだ。顔を上げろ。問題ない。気に病むな。
Our boy Michio has finally done it. He is finally Roxanne's owner. He has knocked it out the park. Ownership obtained. So there is something pretty special about Harem in Labyrinth of Another World, and I think I finally put my finger on it, or in it, but I think I finally put my finger on it this episode, and it's not what you think necessarily. So when you think of the name Harem in Labyrinth of Another World, you know, obviously the biggest call out to this, the biggest claim to fame for this specific anime is the harem that is going to be built over the course of the season, over the course of the life of the anime. And thankfully, last episode at the beginning, we saw that Michio has two things. A, he successfully does have a harem, which does include slaves and does include girls who aren't slaves. And he also does end up having a kid in this world as well, which means he has relations with some village girl at some point in life, and he ends up having a kid from that too. So we know that he gets busy, and he is able to take certain advances and steps in his romantic career during the anime. So we know all the things harem-ish that the anime definitely does do. But remove all the harem stuff, and the thing that I think really makes this anime special and to me stand out is how deep and how intrinsic it went into this actual world. So Michio is now in this world, having to survive, having to figure out how to live in this other world that he was never a part of before, which definitely does have a lot of game mechanics, a lot of familiarities that he has. And last episode, he basically made a decision. He decided that doing things traditionally, going into a dungeon and killing monsters, it was just too slow from a money perspective. And his main goal that he put in front of him was to get Roxanne. And after that, what he decided to do was, I need to go and defeat bandits, right? And the reason for that is bandits have bounties on their head. And he begins to research the world at night, going out at night, seeing how the world kind of works, the inner workings, everything. He ends up coming across a red light district, which we all know what that is. He gets tempted, all cool. He finds out the bandit's lair, and then he proceeds over the next 2 days to research the bandits and to really spy on them, see how they work, who comes in, who comes out, who guards, who goes in. And he puts a plan in action to go and infiltrate their base. And he's successful at it. And they walk us through every single step. And obviously he's killing, he's assassinating. We'll use that word. He's assassinating these bandits, but he's carefully doing it. He's carefully assassinating these bandits. He's being smart about it. He's covering their faces. He's slitting their throats. He's being very timed. He's being very timely about it, being very careful. And I liked seeing all of that happen. And I like seeing the dark underbelly of the world that he now has to live in and kind of figure out a way through. Now, at some point, as he's, killing these bandits off, he was able, you have to cut off the I don't want to say arm. He has to cut off the hand of each of the bandits. And the reason is they have these intelligence cards that are in the actual hands that you can extract from the hand as proof of his actions that he took. So he's able to get 3. He killed 4, but able to get 3. The reason he didn't get the 4th is because one of the girls that he killed, one of the bandits that he killed, he was about to be attacked by all the other bandits that were there. So, to make it a quick, expedient exit, he goes and he warps back to the labyrinth. So all of that, I love seeing, again, like I said, I love seeing the underbelly, the crime. I love seeing his inner turmoil. And that's where I think really separates the anime is the world building, seeing the nasty side of the isekai, life. He got isekai here, seeing that nasty side of it, the evil side, the having to do things that you never thought, having to commit murder, having to assassinate, and those things are taking a toll on him. And I like how he is constantly, what he did in this instance was he blamed his MP loss for him kind of like going down a dark depression with the crimes, or not maybe the crimes, but the murders that he just committed. And he's starting to kind of get up in his head of like, this world isn't like mine. There's no cops. There's no rules. There's no human rights. The way that the world works is completely different. So he has this balance. He has this yin and yang, this evil and good in him, kind of like competing for knowing what he needs to do and doing what he knows he shouldn't. And those things are competing for each other. And I really love the nuance that it kind of brings to the anime outside of the harem stuff. It brings this nuance to a main character that is we're able to sympathize and be empathetic with and understand that he's having to do some shit. You know what I mean? And that is a really cool vibe for the anime to have. All kind of pushed in or shoved into a harem anime about just, getting girls and stuff. And I think that's pretty cool. And I'm really vibing with the anime a lot more than I thought I would. And it really becomes because of everything else that's happening to our main character and to the world that it makes it really interesting, and it pulls you in. So overall, I really like this episode of Harem in Labyrinth of Another World. I'm really liking this anime a lot more than I thought I would. And that's because it's doing something different within the genre. And that is what I keep saying all the time. That anime needs to do is it needs to come, and even if it's going to be something that already exists, it needs to come and do something different in a genre that exists, right? It's like me being on YouTube. It's like, how many people, everybody and their mom reacts, but how many people are reviewing episodes? If you look up an episode and you look up an anime, maybe there's 5 of us, and YouTube has millions of creators. So you have to come out and do something special. So I think that's what makes this anime cool. That's what separates it. That's what separates it apart from the other anime. And that's what is going to keep me coming back each and every week. All right, let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. If you guys heard my dog, I'm sorry. She did bark. But regardless, thank you guys for joining me for another week. And I'll see you, boobalicious. That's too much. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out, my friends. Titty kitties.